I was born in East LA.
Ese pinche Loko. He finally up and went and did it. ¿Qué onda, loquitos? Welcome back to Mexican Movie Monday.
Hey, mellow out, man!
If you were a child in the 90s, 80s, or shit, even the 70s, you remember Cheech and Chong.
My daddy, he disowned me 'cause I wear my sister's clothes.
I don't even know if you can call yourself Mexican American if you haven't seen George Lopez and Cheech and Chong.
Mexican Americans don't like.
After creating about 8 movies together, Cheech and Chong separated, since Cheech claimed that Tommy's ego had begun to grow too big. And then Cheech created Born in East LA.
Oh, you go to East LA, you're gonna get killed by a gang.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to disabuse them of that notion.
I do appreciate the Latino perspective on East LA, but the movie is not the best. And it's definitely worth one watch, if it's on TV. Directed and written by Cheech Marin, the movie is pretty empty. If I'm honest, the death of this strong idea was the script.
Rudy Doo or Looply Doo, whatever your name is.
Not on the same caliber as the Cheech and Chong movies.
Right, man.
No, that's good acid.
Hey, man, I never had it before, man. That's gonna make me die. Well, this gonna make me freak out, man. I seen those guys that walk around my neighborhood had too many acid, man. Their head looked like a pumpkin. Like.
The editing is kind of plain. And the theme of a Mexican being deported by accident,
Tienes carta de everything? Huh? Where's your green card?
it's kind of weird, but definitely not improbable.
It was actually a true story.
As a Latino, I'm not sure what to make of the fact that Cheech doesn't know any Spanish. I know some Latinos don't, but just a strange little tidbit.
A pocho. And a pocho pendejo at that.
Instead of watching this movie, just watch the music video or this review.
Where were you born, man?
Huh? Where was I born?
So in 1987, Cheech directed Born in East LA. The story follows a character named Rudy Robles, who's told by his mom to go pick up his cousin at a factory. And otra vez Yolanda comes out in another movie we're watching. Is Cheech Marin really eating picante sauce? That's not what Mexican or Latinos eat. But you know we eat Valentin or some other bullshit.
Rudy!
Seriously, how many Rudys do you know? Every single Mexican I know named Rodolfo goes by Rudy. As Rudy's heading to work, he stalks this girl for a while, and I think it just takes up too long of the movie. It pretty much reminds me of the catcalling in Latino society, which is just like H.
Hey, look at me. Over here. Hey, bro. Hey, look, I'm driving with no hands.
You know, that hat looks familiar.
Sending people that have lots of problems.
Aquí tiene un tall boy.
They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime.
No, señor, ¿cómo?
They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people.
I'm waiting for Trump to come after me.
Rudy goes to the factory and there's a raid by ICE, and they're looking for illegal immigrants. Since Rudy doesn't have his ID, they think he's illegal.
Who's the president of the United States?
John Wayne.
I like that guy, but not that much.
As he goes over to the immigration front desk, the man asks for his name.
Guadalupe Rodolfo Robles.
Okay, Rudy.
And once he gives them his name, they say that he's already done this before, that he has outstanding warrants. This is actually more prevalent than you think. Even when I did my taxes years ago, they asked me if I had worked in Arkansas at the candle factory. I was in Texas, so no. In Tijuana, Rudy meets Jimmy, a white con man, and looks like the only white man in Tijuana. Besides the tourists, that is. He also quickly falls in love with Dolores.
Disfruta su comida.
Disfrute you, baby.
Jimmy hustles Rudy by making him work long hours with prison pay, pretty much.
I mean, in just a couple hours, you brought in 48 people. That's $4.20 right there.
Rudy keeps trying to call his mom, and his cousin keeps thinking Jesus is talking to him. So then Jimmy asks Rudy to teach some random Asian and Central American dudes some English.
What's up, niña? What's up, What's that? That's it, you got it.
So he teaches them a few things. Rudy gets enough money to get a coyote, which is seriously impressive considering he was only getting a few bucks. How does this man eat? How long had he been doing this? Rudy gives his seat away on the Coyotes ride, and then he comes up with a random idea to pretty much invade America.
Some people call it an invasion.
And then they go on to pursue the American dream. And do you know what these invaders do when they come over to America? They go to a parade. This is definitely a movie you can have on the background. And it's an awesome first movie directed by Cheech. But really, the death for me was the writing.
Why don't you take off your pants?
Yeah, man, take off the pants.
And Cheech even indicates that he wrote kind of a grid line script for them, and people would just kind of go based off that.
I kind of gave him the bare rudiments of the dialogue, and you see how the performance is different.
I mean, the conflict is not a crazy coyote or an evil police officers, and the humor is somewhat lackluster. I almost wish it was sillier or more serious. But it's just not enough on either side, so it comes off halfway to me in all directions. This is a great way to keep your 2020 going though.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
I'm telling you, that's an immigrant chicken. I've been to Mexico. I've seen the chickens. We've got to find out if this is a rapist chicken or a murderer chicken.
To see the similarities that have always existed between cultures, ideals, and these straw man arguments you hear from both sides. Go buy this stupid movie, Lokos. Y otra vez, I'm Mexican Chuy. And hasta mañana.
Hey man, if this is torture, chain me to the wall.